Hi, so Halo Quinn here, author, storyteller, and witch. And in my next book, I've actually combined those three things. So, book for author, storytelling, and magic. And I've written a book called Storytelling for Magic. I wanted to pop on here today to actually sort of say a little bit about why. Why storytelling for magic? Why storytelling skills are important and useful for ritualists, for witches, for pagans, and for bards, of course, in the druid traditions. So obviously, if you're a bard, if you're one of the druids and you're working on your bardic skills, then storytelling skills sort of very obviously come into play. The ability to learn and share a story and to explore stories, myths, legends, fairy tales, and to tease out the magic and the messages and the wisdom that are within them. So, that's fairly obvious from a bardic perspective why storytelling for magic makes sense. But what about our more witchy types or for ritualists in general? Well, it's really quite simple. If you are creating magic, whether you are on your own or in a group, if you cast a circle and hold space, then you need to be able to hold that space and you need to be able to communicate with others, whether those others are the spirits and the gods, or the other human beings in the circle, or even the other parts of yourself. Storytelling skills come into play with that. It's wrapped up in the way in which we communicate. And of course, with a topic like storytelling and someone who is very wordy like myself, a lot of the focus is going to be on the spoken word, on orality. But woven throughout the book, I wanted to include the fact that there are lots of different ways of communicating, of sharing stories, our stories, and the stories that matter to us. So I've included in there little suggestions for other ways of approaching this, for other ways of incorporating these skills into your communication, other ways of telling stories. As I say, the focus is on oral storytelling, but it is much bigger than that. So when we are creating magic, we are communicating with the universe, we are communicating with the spirits, we are communicating with each other. And so the storytelling skills of communication come into play really strongly there. But there's not just that. Storytelling isn't just about the telling of the tale. It's also about the exploring of the stories, the understanding, the identifying with and encountering the archetypes and the beings that are in there. And then pulling those threads out and weaving them into something that can hold our magic. So in my book, Storytelling for Magic, I outline ways in which you can find stories, explore stories, learn stories, and tell stories, and how to construct a ritual around a story. And in this book, I also include a ritual working with the tale of the birth of Taliesin, working with Ceridwen, in that ritual storytelling way, within that space of conjuring Awen, of conjuring divine inspiration, weaving together the witchy side and the druidic side, as far as I'm concerned. So that's basically what the book's about. It's a short but jam-packed text, deliberately designed to be worked with and to help you find the keys to the stories that you want to work with and how you want to work with them and how you want to weave those into ritual. And as an extra thing, because I am passionate about this, because I am excited about this, because this matters to me as a storyteller, a ritualist, and a witch, I love these things very much. I love the ways in which story can hold magic, can teach us, can carry us, can guide us, and the ways in which we can work with story to create ritual containers. Something that I learned many years ago when I first went along to a reclaiming witch camp and have been a part of reclaiming ever since. Reclaiming the reclaiming tradition of witchcraft, which you can always look up. Which is worldwide and loves working with stories for precisely these reasons. So this book is in honor of that. It is in honor of storytellers everywhere. It is in honor of the storyteller within each of us, within you. And even if you never intend to get up on a stage or speak out around a fire late at night at a festival, even if you never intend to actually tell a story as you might envisage a storyteller, there are things in here for you too. And so I want to, over the next few months, over the course of 2024, I'm going to be sharing chapters of Storytelling for Magic on my Patreon at the librarian tier. And alongside those chapters, I'm also going to be sharing audio and video and text-based extra material that I've worked on in workshops and in my time as a storyteller and teaching storytelling skills on occasion to actually help boost those. And if you come along and join the librarian tier, you will also get access to everything else that I do on the lower tiers, which includes a monthly community call, the Enchanted Circle, where you can come along and ask questions and join in the conversation and communicate with each other and directly with me and get some support in that way, in that space. So I'm offering this as a way of supporting the people that are interested in following and developing their bardic skills as storytellers, as performers, as ritualists, as magic workers, and as human beings. Because we are storytelling animals. We are beings that share through stories. We understand the world through stories. We shape our worlds through stories. And so it's up to us to learn how to choose those stories and how to engage with those stories and how to share those stories consciously in order to weave a spell, in order to re-enchant the world. So I invite you to join me on my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Halo Quinn at the librarian tier to follow me on this journey and explore these things with me. And if you want, you can join on a higher tier and get monthly live classes on various other topics. We're starting with the deities of love in March. We've got a series of four classes working with various deities of love, including the archetypal divine lover, the red goddess, the wild god, and the bright beloveds, the bright spirits that are those queer loving spirits that, or that spirit that weaves between, of union, of neither nor, of both and the ways in which they can heal us. And it is some of their stories that will be shared in the Coven tier as well. So you are very welcome to join wherever you like in there, at the librarian or at the Coven tier, and you'll get access to the Storytelling for Magic as well. So I hope to see you there. And if you resonate with the passion that I have for storytelling as magic, and I tell you this open secret, whenever I tell a story, I am weaving magic. It doesn't matter what the context is. It doesn't matter if I'm on a stage, around a fire, in a ritual, or just standing in the queue at the post office. Whenever I tell a story, I am sharing a piece of magic. Because when I tell a story, I step into that space of sharing the magic contained within. And the listener steps into that space of receiving the magic within. And we can do this with the shortest of stories, the most personal or the most mythical, the grandest of tales. But whenever we tell a story, we are weaving magic. And I'd like to help you to engage with stories, to find and learn and share in your own way, and to take those skills that you gain by engaging with the stories, by telling stories, by learning and listening to stories. All of those things give you skills that you can use in your magic. I look forward to seeing you there. Much love and happy tale telling.